this is the login screen to AccountView by way of a web browser. Now, it is important to note that although we are sharing this with a web browser, I'm going to show you what it looks like from the mobile device experience as well. So with that said, if you are interested in downloading AccountView on your mobile device, please go to your respective stores, whether you're an Apple user, an iOS user, or an Android user. You can go to your respective stores, and within the stores, you're going to look for a program called LPL AccountView. LPL AccountView, not to be confused with LPL Advisor Mobile. There's actually a tool in there for advisors that they could leverage, and you want to make sure that you are leveraging the program that says LPL AccountView. That is the program that you can download on your smart device, and I'll show you how you can log into it once you have it downloaded. But looking at the screen here, again, this is what you can anticipate when you are leveraging a web browser to access My AccountView. As Craig mentioned, the hyperlink is available on the website for the firm, but you can also save the URL as a favorite within your web browser. And you can do this on both PCs and on Mac products as well. The URL is quite simple. It's myaccountviewonline.com, and you can see that called out within my web browser up top here. So if you are not leveraging the website, Craig's website, you can just drop in My AccountView Online into your web browser of choice. And then I would always recommend saving that as a favorite so that way you can easily access it in the future. Now, once you access this website, you're going to see a page very similar to what we have here on the screen. Now, a couple of logistics here in terms of the website itself. You can see that when you go to log in, you've got your username bar here. And what's important to note is that your username is always going to be the email address of record associated with your account. So you can see here that I've got johndoeinvestor@gmail.com. That is the email address that is associated with my training environment. We're going to use that to log into AccountView. So once you drop in your username, you're going to hit that next button, and that next button here is going to take you to the screen where you're going to drop in your password. Now you should see this blue screen here, and keep in mind in terms of navigating this particular screen, if you need to hop back, maybe you miskeyed the email address of record, you're going to hit that start over hyperlink, and that will take you back to the page that you were on a moment ago. But again, once you've got that email in there and you are looking to proceed to dropping in your password, you're going to key that into the password field. And what's important to note is that when you log in for the first time, the system is going to do a two-factor authentication process. It's going to look very similar to what we have on the screen. Now, you are able to leverage a mobile device, or you're able to leverage a landline, depending on how your telephone is set up. You can see that there are two buttons here giving you the ability to receive a text message code or a phone call that will speak the code over to you. Now, I'm going to leverage the text feature here, and what this is going to do is send me a text message on my mobile device. I'm going to pull that up here real quick. So you're going to key in that 6-digit code, and this is going to verify you. And once verified, it is going to take you into the landing screen within AccountView. Now, if this is the very first time that you've logged into AccountView, a couple things are going to pop up. Number one, you're going to see a pop-up similar to what we have here on the screen. The welcome message, what this is a walk me overlay. And if you've not used AccountView before, this is going to be a helpful tool, because this is actually going to show you the lay of the land. You'll notice here that when you hit that start button, it's going to guide you through some of the major areas within AccountView in terms of navigation. So if I need to take a look at my navigation bar, you can see how it calls that out. If I want to take a look at my preferences and layout, you can see where you can find that information. Now, obviously, this is a 9-step process. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go through each of those, but I do recommend, if you haven't used AccountView before, take a look at each one of those 9 tiles, because it will show you important information. And in the event that you are comfortable with using AccountView, you can just click that X right up top here, and that will close out that Walk Me session. In addition, you will also see from time to time pop-ups like we have here. This is just LPL's back office letting you know in the event that there are any anticipated outages within the system. And this is primarily done for system upgrades. And you can see that we do have one planned for April 23rd, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, scheduled to end at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So we will call out the dates and times that we anticipate the portal being down for maintenance purposes. And you'll see those pop-ups occur as you log in. Now, one thing that you're not seeing, and that typically will happen the very first time that you log in, you will see a screen very similar to what I have here in terms of paperless status. There's going to be a pop-up message that will ask you if you are not paperless on all of the items that you're eligible to be paperless on, it's going to ask you whether or not you want to go green 100%, and you can actually do that with a single click. You'll notice that there will be a button that says Go Paperless, similar to what we have here, that allows for you with a single click to go paperless on everything. And that includes your statements. That will include documentation such as trade confirmations, prospectus, shareholder communications, and also your tax forms, including your 1099s, 1099Rs, your 5498s, and any other tax documents that you may receive. One additional piece that you're not seeing on the screen that is also available is the ability for you to go paperless on what we call client letters. And these are letters that you will receive in the event that you do something like an address change or a telephone number change. Anything change related that happens to your accounts, you will be notified by way of a client letter, and you can opt to go paperless within this tool on those letters as well. So again, as I recommend as you hop into this tool, make sure you're taking a look at those paperless settings. In the event that you don't want to go paperless on everything, you will have the ability to come into the tool, and you'll notice these are drop downs. So within the paperless feature, under statements, you can take a look at which documents and statements are paperless. You do have the ability to pick and choose which ones you want to receive paper on and which ones you don't. And the same applies again for your additional documentation, prospectus and shareholder communications, as well as those tax forms. And you can see a comprehensive overview of all of those as you uncollapse each one of those boxes. Another important piece that you're going to find in the settings feature within AccountView is the Accounts tab. What's nice about this Accounts tab is it gives you the ability to go in and make changes to your accounts. You have the ability to hide any closed accounts that have a zero balance. So if that is applicable, you can hide that from your view. And then you do also have the ability to go in and create nicknames for your accounts. The reason why I call this out is you'll find that as accounts are opened at LPL, the naming conventions on them can be a bit cryptic, especially if you're not familiar with some of the financial terminology that we use here at LPL. So what you can do, and actually Craig's team can also do this on your behalf, is go into the account and give it your own account name. So you can see here, I've actually taken the liberty of creating an account name already. It says John Doe Advisory Account, but typically you would see something along the lines of John Doe NR, and that's just basically saying it's not not a qualified account. So there's some terminology in here that you may not be familiar with. You have the ability to come in and create a nickname and basically put those accounts in layman's terms. And that way, when you look at your accounts within the system, you can easily identify which one may be an IRA account, which one may be an individual account, which one may be a trust account. So do keep that in mind. Now, hopping back to our home screen, I want to talk a little bit about some of the logistics of the overview. So the overview would be the very first thing that you see when you log into AccountView. And what it is it's essentially a roll-up of the accounts that are associated with a profile. One thing that I want to highlight is that generally speaking, every person within your household that has accounts with Craig and team will have access to view their accounts online within their own portal. However, in the event that you are looking for a household view, that can also be set up on your behalf. Keep in mind that that is not something you could set up yourself, but Craig's team can assist you with creating a household profile within AccountView. So all you would need to do is contact his team, and his team will get you set up with that household view. But looking at the overview, a couple of things of importance. Right up top here, you have the different ways to aggregate account information. So by default, if you have multiple accounts within your portfolio, it's going to show you all of those accounts and then a comprehensive roll-up of the values associated with those accounts. On the right, it's also going to give you any changes in the accounts in terms of a roll-up. Now, again, if you want to aggregate to a particular account, all you would do is hop up in here to this aggregator. You can deselect the all account function and then pick and choose which accounts you'd like to factor in. And notice by clicking outside of the box, that is now changing my view, and I'm looking at information that pertains to just the John Doe advisory account in this instance. In addition to aggregating, what's nice is that you have the ability to see different charting as we extend the screen below the fold. You'll notice that I scroll on down here, we're going to see an account overview. Now, these carets to the left of the account name give you the ability to essentially uncollapse this box and see the registration associated with this account. Notice when I click into John Doe Advisory, this is showing me the actual registration, it's showing me my account class, and it's showing me when that account has been opened. So by default, this information will be hidden. And again, to show that information, all you would do is click the caret to the left of the account name, and it would uncollapse that box and call out that additional information. Just below the account section, we do have our value over time section. And again, this is going to aggregate data based off of which accounts you have selected in the filter up top. But here we can see items such as starting market value. You can see an overview of your deposits and withdrawals. You can take a look at investment returns, total return, and then your ending market value. And please pay close attention to the dates that are called out within the reporting. You can see here that we are actually taking a look at the snapshot of the accounts at the close of business yesterday. Typically, that's what you'll find in a lot of the reporting, is that the dates will call out when the reporting occurs. With your accounts that are held on platform, typically those are adjusted 4 times throughout the day. So you do have some intraday reporting there. And then any outside accounts are typically reported previous day close. So pay close attention to the dates that are associated with the reporting within the widgets on the screen. Another nice feature to call out with regard to your value over time chart is, again, we've got some aggregation features that you were able to leverage, and you can see that called out on the right-hand side of the screen. Here I have the ability to take a look at all time, and I can switch between 1 year, year to date, 1 month, and then custom gives me the ability to pick and choose my own date range. And that's going to drive the detail that we would see in the value over time chart. And notice how I roll over the various sections of the charting calls out additional information. So keep in mind that when you see reporting within the system, you have the ability to typically roll over those charts and you will see additional information. Now, beyond the value over time chart, you will have an overview of your asset allocation. Keep in mind, again, this is being triggered by the roll-up of the accounts through the filter up top. So any adjustments made there, you would see those adjustments on the charting itself. And to the right of that, you will see your top positions, and this will give you an opportunity to drill into those positions. Now, this is just a snapshot of the positions that you have within your accounts. If you are looking for the details on all positions, you're going to want to leverage your left-hand navigation rail, and notice the second tab just below overview is the positions tab. And this will give you access to all of the accounts that are housed within your portal, and it gives you the ability now to drill in and take a look at the details of these accounts. Here you can see a snapshot of John Doe's brokerage account, and you can see that there is a cash account associated with it, and then this particular account has 2 mutual funds. Now, what I like about AccountView is that if you're looking to do any research on these positions that you have within your accounts, all you need to do is take a quick click of the security itself, and we have Thompson 1 embedded in the back end of AccountView. So if you want to research this mutual fund, notice how it's actually going to pull up a brand new screen within AccountView, and it's going to call out items such as the history. In this case, it was an ETF, so you can see the details of the ETF. Again, you have different ways to aggregate over time. And towards the bottom, you're going to see an overview and information from routers. So all of this is available by clicking the actual security itself within your portfolio. Now, in the event that you're looking for information on a security that you may not hold, what you will also have access to is a search bar at the top of the screen. Now, this search Now you can key in the security symbol if you know it, or in the event that you just know what you're looking for. Let's say we're looking for Apple stock. You can drop in either the word Apple or the symbol itself, and you can see how it's going to pull up different securities that you can choose from. All you would need to do to get the pricing information is to select the appropriate symbol, and it's going to bring you back to that Thomson 1 page like we saw a moment ago. In addition, as we scroll on down into the security, you'll notice that there is a caret to the left of the security itself. Now, if you click into that caret, it's going to show you your lot information. Here is where you have an opportunity to see both your short-term lots and your long-term lots. And you'll also have the ability up on top here to take a look at items such as purchase date. You can see the quantity, the price, the value, the per share dollar value, your gains and loss from both a dollar value and also from a percentage. And this information can be exported out to an Excel spreadsheet. So if any of you are number crunchers and you'd prefer to look at this information within an Excel spreadsheet, this information can be exported. It is important to note that this system also integrates with TurboTax and Quicken for tax purposes. Here's just another example of the second account within the portfolio. And again, we can click in to see the details. Now, another feature that you will have access to within AccountView is a goal-based feature. Now, this is a tool that is driven by your advisor. So keep in mind, if your advisor has not created a goal on your behalf, you would not have access to this particular tool. But in the event that a goal has been established, these goals can be pushed to your online portal, and you have an opportunity to view those goals directly within the portal itself without having to request any reports to be run. These goals, when you click into them, give you a comprehensive overview of the goal. So this is essentially a light version of financial planning, and you have the ability to take a look at that goal, and these goals will adjust based off of market values. Within the goal-based software, you will see your probability of success. You have different items in here, so you can see a rebalance versus what the current portfolio looks like. And you'll see items in this case like monthly savings contributions, your asset projection, and again, these charts and graphs are animated like we saw a moment ago. You can create a goal for a large purchase. You can create a goal for a retirement, and you can also create a goal for education savings. So these goals can be a collection, and you can find these goals if created within this tool here. Now, one enhancement that we are in the process of making is giving you the ability to go in and create your own goal without having to have Craig's team initiate that on your behalf. So that's an enhancement that we do have in our pipeline, and you will see that this year. So do keep that in mind. Another feature in here is the documentation repository. So in the event that you have gone paperless on any of the items that we discussed earlier, this is where you can find that information. So on a monthly basis, when you receive your statements, if you are paperless, you will receive an email notification that your statements are ready. And within the body of that email, you'll have an opportunity to click a link that will take you right to the website, and you just drop in your credentials. Here you can see an example of what statements look like within the tool. And to view those statements, all you would do is click the hyperlink. It's going to download those statements and give you an opportunity to view those statements electronically. In addition to the statements, you do have your trade confirmations if you've gone paperless on those, your tax forms, and again, those client letters. Now, one important piece here is you don't have to be paperless to use these tools. If you are still receiving paper in the mail, you still have an opportunity to view your statements, trade confirmations, tax forms, and client letters within the online portal as well. You'll just receive them both in the mail and online. One additional piece that you'll have access to is this My Files section. And the My Files section is essentially an online repository of reports that Craig's team can push to you, and you actually have an opportunity to push documentation back as needed. Here you can see an example of a proposal that we have in the system and an example of a goal that I've added into the system. But in the event that I need to file share back with Craig's team, maybe you've got an account that needs power of attorney and Craig's team needs a copy of the power of attorney documentation, you have the ability to actually leverage AccountView to file share back with Craig's team rather than using email and worrying about the secure feature or sending documentation copies via snail mail. Notice here I can actually select an account and then upload documents back to Craig's team. And you can actually leverage this tool as an online repository just for storage purposes as well. So if you're looking to go green at home, maybe you've got some documentation in paper form and you want to get rid of the clutter, if you have access to a scanner, you can actually scan that documentation and store it in the AccountView cloud as well. Now, the next piece I want to click into on the left-hand side is your activity tab. So here is where you have an opportunity, account by account, to go in and take a look at any activity that's happening on the account. You do have the ability to search for a particular transaction, or you can scroll through and take a look at the detail within the grid itself. Again, you can see on the right-hand side the export feature. So on any of these screens, in the event that you are looking to export out to either an Excel or a CSV file, you can most definitely do that. The last tab, or I should say second to last in many cases, is the balances tab. And this is just taking a look at all accounts within your portfolio, and it's calling out the cash and equivalent, your market investments, and it's giving you a comprehensive total. So you can see how this 22,000 and change has been calculated at a very high level. Now, some of you on this call may be leveraging e-money for financial planning purposes. And Craig, guys, I know you may be on mute right now, but just out of curiosity, do you have any clients today that are leveraging e-money for financial planning purposes?
Yes, we have quite a few that do that.
Perfect. And I think I saw it on your website as well. So obviously you can go to Craig's website. You can have the opportunity to click into eMoney. We brand it as Wealth Vision. So if you see Wealth Vision called out, that's just LPL's iteration of eMoney. What's also important is that you don't have to leverage the website exclusively to access your financial plans. If you do have a financial plan set up with Craig's team and you are in AccountView like we are here, you do also have the ability to access that financial plan with through single sign-on integration directly through AccountView itself. Notice here, if I wanted to access my financial plans, with a click on the Wealth Vision tab, it's going to take me through single sign-on directly into eMoney. And here's where I have an opportunity to go in and view any financial plans that have been set up on my behalf. As I mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get yourself set up with your access. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to end the demonstration with a demo of what the mobile application looks like. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick, and we're going to pull up first an email. So this email is what you can expect if Craig's team has set up your online access on your behalf. So here's an example of what that email would look like. So you would receive that email in your inbox. And all you would need to do to access, or I should say activate, your AccountView profile is give this blue button a single click, and it will take you over to the AccountView portal where you'll go through a validation process. Now that validation process is going to look very similar to what we have here on the screen. Let me pull that back up. Looks like it dropped. Here we go. So when you click that blue button in the email, it's going to take you to a screen similar to what we have here. And to validate yourself, all you would need to do is drop in your email address, a telephone number. Now, if you have multiple telephone numbers associated with your accounts, you could use any one of those. But you're going to put in a telephone number and then the last 4 digits of your social security number. And then you're going to click this little box here, indicating that you're not a robot. And typically what you'll find here, it's called a CAPTCHA. Sometimes it will ask you to say something along the lines of pick all squares that have a car in it or something to that effect. Or in some cases, it may just go directly through. But once you click that and you hit find me, this is going to go through that validation process and actually validate your access. Another route that you can go to get yourself set up, if you are looking to set yourself up yourself, if I hop back to our home screen here, let me log out. If we hop back to the home screen, you're going to find that on the login screen at the very bottom, you do have a sign up feature here. And this will give you the opportunity to go in and self-provision your own access. Again, it's going to take you to that screen, that validation screen. And all you do is, again, drop in your email address, telephone number, last 4 of your social, hit the CAPTCHA button, hit find me, and it's going to locate your profile. And you're going to go through and establish your own password. So keep in mind, again, your email address of record will be your username, and then on the next screen, you'd have the ability to drop in your own password, and you can then move forward. So in terms of setup, again, it's really easy. Craig's team can set you up on your behalf, and again, you would receive that email similar to what we have here. You would hit that Activate Account View button to go through the activation process, or if you choose to self-provision your own access, you would hop back to the home screen of Account View, hit that Sign Up button, and then follow the steps to complete the process. I'm just going to take pause there. Let me stop sharing my screen. Any questions on the setup process? That was a quick session there. So what I'd like to show everyone next is what it looks like to leverage the mobile application. So I'm going to actually share my screen on my mobile application, on my cell phone here. All right. So obviously I'm using an iPhone. In the event that you are leveraging an Android, you're going to want to go to your respective store. So on my iPhone, it's going to be the App Store. I do believe I have that on my home screen here. So you're going to want to go to your App Store. And again, what you're going to want to look for is LPL AccountView. This is the tool that you want to download, not to be confused with the one below it, LPL Financial Mobile. That is a tool that Craig and his team would use within his office. This is the second one is an advisor-facing application. So you do want to make sure you are leveraging the top one that says LPL AccountView. That will then download onto your phone. And then once it's downloaded, you will find it on your home screen. So you can see on my home screen, I have it on the bottom left of one of my pages here. You're going to see LPL AccountView. And to log in, all you're going to do is click the application, and it's going to take you to a sign-in screen like you see here. But what's nice about the cell phone is that the cell phone login will give you an opportunity to leverage the telephone's biometric system. So depending on the phone that you're using, it could either be a facial recognition, thumbprint. I unfortunately have never used an Android, so I'm assuming they have the same type of capabilities. But what you're going to want to do the first time you log into the system is you will need to drop in your username and password. And then within the settings of the tool, you can then turn on the biometrics. So that way going forward, you can just leverage your Face ID and it will log you into the system. Now you will have an opportunity to see the same amount of information on the mobile application as you did see in the web-based version of the application. You're just going to see that the logistics on here are a bit different. The navigation is going to be on the bottom rather than the left-hand side of the screen. But you can see as I scroll through again, you see the same level of detail on the mobile app as we saw in the application on the web browser itself. Now, as I mentioned, the security settings is where you're going to want to go to turn on your biometrics. So depending on the phone that you're leveraging, you're going to want to go to the More tab on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. And from the settings on your iPhone here, you're going to go to the Settings tab. And you'll notice that you do have the ability in here, as we scroll on down, to make adjustments. Within the adjustments of the section here, you're going to want to click your name. And this will show you the name and email address associated. So you just want to make sure everything looks good there. And then you do have the ability on this tool, and it looks like they made a change on here. But within this tool here, you have the ability to go in and you have the ability under security settings. I was in the wrong one, pardon. So this is where you'd actually go to edit your password, or you can see here, I have the ability to set up my ID, my Face ID or passcode. And then I can also leverage, if needed, a two-factor authentication. So similar to that of the web browser, if you want the system to send you a text that you key in addition to using the biometrics of the phone, you can turn that on as well. So again, taking a look at the summary page, you have the ability to scroll in and take a look at your account-related detail. Again, we've got the ability to drill into positions, so you'll just leverage that bottom navigation rail on the application. Here we can see position level detail. Now, the one thing you just want to be cognizant of as we navigate using the cell phone, if you are looking for items such as lot information on the cell phone, there is a few logistics that you want to be aware of. If I was to click into a particular security like I did here, your lot information is going to be accessed by way of the unrealized gain and loss tab. So when you click the hyperlink there, it's going to take you to a new screen. And notice how it says, please rotate the device to landscape, and that's going to call out additional information. So you just want to make sure if you're leveraging your cell phone that you are following the prompts to turn the phone from vertical to landscape from time to time, because it will call out all of the information within the screen itself. So I'm going to take pause here. I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions on the mobile app? So in terms of the demonstration, that's really all that we had planned to show everybody. So if you do have any questions, we still have plenty of time. So please feel free to raise your hand and Craig will unmute the line and we'll dive in. Another important piece, in the event that you need some additional collateral on AccountView, Craig's team does have some client-facing collateral that he can provide to you. And so just let him and his team know, and they can definitely send that out. There's a brochure on how to use the tool. There's a step-by-step how-to guide that is available. So all of that can be sent to you either electronically or, however you'd like to receive it. That collateral is available and ready to go. And so just to speak to some of those additional features, and actually, so the figure, Craig, that you called out, I'm glad you knew that number. That was actually our 2021 figure, was $250 million on technology spend, and that's for net new products and net new enhancements. For 2022, our budget for this year is $310 million. So that money is just going up year over year because we understand the value and importance of making sure that the digital experience is great. And again, it's really driven off of what you and Craig's team says is important. Now, a couple things that I think are noteworthy, just in terms of the evolution of AccountView. As Craig mentioned, we have some enhancements that are going to be rolling out in the next few months. And so what you can anticipate is AccountView becoming much more self-service. So what you didn't see in my demonstration is any ability to go in and make changes. That is going to be on the horizon. What you will have an opportunity to do in the very near future is go into AccountView, and if you need to make an address change or a telephone number change, you have the opportunity to do that should you choose within AccountView. You'll also have an opportunity to go in and make beneficiary changes on either your TODs or your qualified accounts. So that's another change that is in the works, and you will see that this year. We are also leveraging a tool through, it's actually an integration done through Morningstar, not to get too granular, but it's called By All Accounts. Not that you need to know that, that's just on the back, that's just working on the back end. But what that tool is going to do is give you an opportunity to leverage AccountView as an aggregator. What I mean by that is, if any of you are familiar with mint.com, what that tool does is it gives you the ability to go in, and within one portal, you can see all of your investment accounts, but you could also see your checking and savings account, your mortgage, all within one unified platform. And we're making AccountView that this year. So you will have an opportunity to not only see your brokerage, advisory, and directly held accounts within AccountView. Should you choose, you'll have the ability to factor in your mortgage, credit cards, checking and savings accounts, and you'll be able to see all of that within AccountView itself. So that, I promise, is not a future. That is actually being worked on as we speak, and we anticipate that technology being rolled out in the next 2 to 3 months.
Our website, client login, and then the second one down is Access AccountView. Also, we do have a helpful guide online that you can access that provides some information about AccountView, and maybe kind of reaffirm some of the things that Ryan had mentioned to us today, and just provides an overview, good reference guide here. So, but again, Access AccountView, and then once you do that, we would suggest to bookmark that on your web browser, and same login credentials as the web version versus the mobile function.